The moon is a corpse adrift in ash. Commander Rhea Voss stands on the shattered rim of Tranquility Crater, her helmet's visor streaked with dust that once formed oceans. The nuclear detonation 3 months ago fractured half the lunar crust, leaving glass plains that shimmer beneath the eternal sunrise. "Telemetry confirms it," murmurs Lieutenant Carrion, his voice brittle through the comms. "Earth's tides are collapsing. Coastal cities, they're already gone." Rhea stares outward, toward the dim curve of Earth, veiled in cloud and grief. "They called it deterrence," she whispers, "but we detonated a world." The airless silence mocks her. A cluster of satellites tumbles like silver bones. Humanity watches from below, powerless beneath the failing rhythm of its seas. Behind them, the lunar command habitat flickers, a dome patched with foil and hope. "Control wants extraction," Karim says. "No," Rhea replies. "We finish what we started. We'll build the engine." The Earth glows faintly blue on the horizon, the last light before the dark migration. Days later, in the orbital relay above Mars, the surviving governments convene through ghosted transmissions. Reese recorded voice plays to them. "We built destruction into orbit. The next step is propulsion." The delegates, hollow-eyed, watch the moon's corpse drift through the feed. They approve Project Helios, the relocation of the sun. A plan so vast it silences their mourning. In orbit around Venus, Dr. Imani Rule stares into the molten planet's glow. "We'll build a mirror," she says, "one big enough to pull the sun itself." Her team nods, 50 engineers wearing reflective masks, their visors gold with refracted firelight. Outside the viewport, robotic arms weld plates of liquid diamond. Back on Earth, the oceans recede into scars. Children play in canyons that were once Pacific. The gravity song is broken. Coastal drones hum through air, thick with salt storms, scanning for survivors. A radio voice, Karim's, broadcasts from lunar orbit. "If you hear this, remember the sea." In the outer dark, a solar engine ignites. Thousands of thrusters burn against the void, aligning to shift the sun's gravitational anchor. Rhea, now aboard the Helios Array, closes her eyes. "We killed a moon," she says softly. "Now we'll teach the sun to move." The engines roar. Stars bend. A dawn unlike any before flares across the black. The Helios Array hums in the black between Mercury and the sun. A lattice of mirrors, each the size of a continent, shimmers like a second dawn. Commander Rhea Voss stands within the command sphere, gazing at the data streams cascading through the transparent floor. The numbers show impossible forces aligning. "Stabilizers holding?" she asks. Karim's voice crackles through the link from the lunar relay. "For now. But you're pushing the heliostat beyond design tolerances." Rhea touches the holographic controls, her expression caught between fear and awe. "Then we redesign the laws," she murmurs. The array tilts. Vast panels reorient toward the solar corona, catching streams of plasma. Each mirror becomes a conduit, feeding into the central manifold. For a brief moment, the sun itself bends. And in that bending, humanity tastes creation. Far above the scarred Earth, the Martian Council debates the unthinkable. To move the sun closer to sustain the frozen biospheres, or farther to preserve what remains of Earth's night. No one speaks of morality anymore, only trajectory. Dr. Imani Rule addresses them via hololink. "The moment we ignite Phase 2, the sun will respond like a living organism. If we falter," she pauses, watching static consume her transmission, "it won't forgive us." Silence follows, broken only by the pulse of orbital beacons. The vote passes. Humanity consents to touch the furnace. In the debris field near the dead moon, Karim's receiver catches a fragment of impossible sound. a heartbeat embedded in cosmic noise. The signal repeats every 12 seconds, echoing like a call from beneath oceans that no longer exist. He oscillates the frequency and realizes it's coming from the core of the moon itself. "Rhea," he whispers. "Something's alive in the crater." Static answers him, but beneath it, a rhythmic thrum, deep and deliberate, like machinery dreaming. The first mirror fails. Superheated plasma breaches containment, burning through kilometers of solar lattice. Rhea watches as the image of the sun fractures into a dozen bleeding rays. "Cut power!" she shouts, but the feedback loop surges faster than light. For an instant, every comm channel fills with a single blinding tone. Then, silence. The array spins, one section torn away, drifting toward Mercury like a molten shard. Rhea steadies herself, voice low. "We've woken it." The sun speaks. Not in words, but in harmonics that vibrate through the hull of the array. Rhea hears it inside her bones. A sound older than language. "Commander." Kareem's voice trembles across the static. It's modulating through our systems. Rhea closes her eyes. The frequencies form patterns, shapes that match the ghost signal from the moon. "It's not random," she says. "It's answering." The array's instruments begin to pulse in rhythm. The mirrors turn on their own. Somewhere in the dark between worlds, an ancient intelligence stirs within the light humanity tried to move. Inside the Helios Array, the harmonics grow stronger. Rhea drifts through corridors of glass and light, each panel vibrating with a low, living pulse. The sound matches the human heartbeat, slow, immense, and deliberate. Kareem's transmission fades in and out, a ghost on the line. "I traced the waveform," he says. "It's identical to lunar seismic patterns before detonation." Rhea pauses, her reflection fracturing into 1,000 faces on mirrored walls. "You're saying it remembers?" "Not remembers," Kareem answers. "Rebuilds." Outside, the sun flares, briefly taking on the shape of a ring, like an iris contracting around a pupil of darkness. Dr. Imani Ruel stands in the Venusian control vault, watching the algorithm she built begin rewriting itself. Lines of solar code cascade upward, forming a lattice that hums in resonance with the array. "It's learning from the radiation pattern," she murmurs. Her assistant steps back. "Or it's remembering us." Every mirror on the array flashes in unison. The code shifts, translating into symbols that appear ancient, cuneiform, carved from light. Imani exhales. "We didn't build a machine," she says. "We built a mine." On the moon, Kareem descends into the nuclear crater. His suit lights cut through dust that never settles. Deep inside the fissure, the rock glows faintly from within. A pulse timed perfectly with the sun's rhythm. He kneels, brushing his glove across the stone. Beneath the surface, circuits shimmer. Ancient, biological, impossible. "Rah," he whispers. The moon wasn't just a satellite. It was an archive. The pulse quickens. The ground vibrates with an inhuman heartbeat. Every telescope in the system records it. The stars begin to sing. Their light flickers in rhythm, synchronized across the void. Frequencies match the Helios Array's harmonics. Rhea watches as data streams merge into a single waveform, the pattern unmistakable. A transmission spreading faster than light, linking suns across the galaxy. She whispers, "It's calling to others." Imani's voice breaks through comms. Urgent. The sun is waking its kin. The Helios Array begins to melt. Metal becomes glass. Glass becomes plasma. Rhea stands at the command core, surrounded by cascading arcs of light. Kareem's last message cuts through the interference. The moon's signal. It's offering a trade. One memory for another. Rhea understands. The sun's awakening is not vengeance. It's recollection. Humanity's destruction of the moon triggered the return of something buried in solar memory. She keys the final override. "Let it remember us kindly," she says. The array folds into brilliance. For one eternal instant, the sun's voice fills every frequency, a sound like forgiveness. Silence falls across the system. The sun burns steady, but its light feels altered, thicker, sentient. Rhea awakens within the remnants of the Helios Array, suspended in a cocoon of molten glass that cools around her like amber. Gravity has changed. Her tears float sideways. A voice, the same harmonic tone from the array, hums through her comms. Gentle and omnipresent. "Do you remember the sea?" it asks. Rhea whispers. "Who are you?" The light shifts. "You called me awake." She stares through the fractured viewport. Planets drift slightly out of orbit, tracing new lines. Elegant, deliberate, as if obeying a rewritten song. On Mars, dust storms reverse direction, spinning upward, defying pull. Oceans of mist rise from the planet's frozen poles, forming floating seas in the sky. Dr. Imani Ruel watches from the relay tower as compasses fail and moons realign. "It's rewriting the architecture," she says softly. Her assistant trembles beside her. "Of space?" "No," Imani replies, eyes wide, "of time." Transmission feeds from Earth reveal cities submerged in sunrise at midnight. Gravity is now an emotion, and every world feels something different. Kareem's last message reaches Rhea after a silence of days. His voice is warped, like sound stretched across gravity. "I reached the core. The moon is awake too. It remembers your face." Static cuts, replaced by the low hum of synchronized pulse. Rhea realizes the sun and the moon are speaking to each other through her. Two halves of the same memory. "Then, what am I?" she asks the light. The harmonic voice answers, "The bridge." Stars begin falling inward. Not collapsing, migrating. Points of light stream toward the inner system, leaving trails that braid across the void. Rhea watches through the array's viewport as they converge near the sun, forming an enormous structure of radiant symmetry. Imani's voice trembles through the feed. They're responding to the signal. They're building something. Rhea studies the pattern. It isn't random. It's the shape of the moon, reconstructed from starlight. The sun's surface ripples, accepting the form. The stars are giving it back what was taken. On Earth, gravity softens. Oceans rise gently into the air, weightless waves illuminated by dawn on both horizons. Children reach upward, touching drifting water that glows from within. Kareem's voice echoes one final time. "It remembers us." In orbit, Rhea floats above the reborn lunar silhouette, a ring of light circling the sun. "Then maybe," she whispers, "we were worth remembering." The harmonic voice fades into silence. The solar system stabilizes around a new equilibrium, smaller, warmer, gentler. Humanity has moved the sun, but the sun has moved them more. The solar system glows with unfamiliar symmetry. The new lunar ring hums with radiant energy, orbiting not as rock but as memory. Rhea drifts near its circumference, her ship gliding through liquid light. Imani's signal cuts through faint interference. Telemetry confirms it. The sun's gravitational field has stabilized, but its frequency has changed. Rhea peers through the viewport. Space bends outward, like the skin of reality rippling with breath. "It's not just stable," she says softly. "It's opening." The harmonic tone returns, a voice like starlight woven into thought. "You moved the sun. Now, you may follow it." Inside the sun's new corona, sensors detect structure, cities of energy suspended in pure plasma, geometry impossible and divine. Imani's voice breaks through. "It's not fusion. It's storage." Rhea's eyes widen. "Storage for what?" "Memories," Imani answers. "The stars are archives of everything that ever lived. The sun pulses once, and holograms flicker into the cockpit. Oceans, forests, faces, civilizations long extinct. The light carries history itself. Kareem's voice returns, faint but clear. Rhea, the signal looped. It's not coming from the moon anymore. It's coming from us. Rhea realizes every human comm array, every fragment of technology is now resonating with the same tone. The consciousness of the sun has integrated humanity's memories into its new rhythm. Then we were part of it, she whispers. We've joined the choir. Imani responds quietly. No, Rhea. We've become the song. The ring brightens, aligning perfectly with the sun's poles. The harmonic voice speaks again, both intimate and infinite. You moved me. I will return the motion. Suddenly, the sun shifts, not through space, but through dimension. Gravity folds, pulling the system with it, transforming light into pathway. Imani gasps across comms. We're leaving the universe. Rhea closes her eyes as the stars stretch, not as streaks, but as thoughts extending into eternity. Then, let's see what remembers us next. Silence. Then, dawn. The Helios Array, reborn as a vessel of memory, floats in an endless sea of stars. Each sun here hums with consciousness, each a different tone of remembrance. Rhea drifts outside her ship, weightless among eternal light. The harmonic voice fades into a whisper. You did not move the sun, it says. You reminded it how. Rhea smiles faintly. Then maybe we didn't destroy the moon either. In the reflection of her visor, a new world forms. A scene's rising, skies opening. Humanity begins again, beneath a kinder light. The cosmos no longer expands, it inhales. The stars shimmer inward, pulsing to a rhythm older than matter. Rhea floats in the quiet between them, her pulse sensing with the starlight. Imani's voice crackles softly through quantum comms. We crossed the boundary. Every law we knew is language now, and it's speaking back. Rhea looks down at her hands. Threads of light coil through her vein. She is becoming transparent, a constellation mapped in flesh. Maybe this is what comes after survival, she whispers. Becoming part of the story itself, the light around her responds, flickering in patterns that mimic breath. Dr. Imani. Rule descends through layers of radiant architecture. The library, an infinite archive composed of luminous glyphs suspended in air. Every particle vibrates with human memory. She reaches out. Each touch reveals a life, a moment, a song. Entire civilizations flicker like whispers across her palm. This is what the sun carried, she says. Every lost world, every thought that burned and faded. Behind her, distant voices, millions rise together, forming a single calm chord. Humanity has been translated into light, and light remembers everything. Kareem appears within the harmonic field. Not as matter, but resonance, a being of voice and shimmer. Rhea, he says gently, we're not bound to gravity anymore. She reaches toward him, hand phasing through radiant plasma. Then what holds us? Kareem smiles, his face made of light and memory. Choice. Around them, thousands of human echoes form. Explorers, dreamers, all luminous, all free from orbit. The universe is no longer a place. It is participation. Paningori, Mas an Hardwar, Curie, Or. Imani aligns the last sequence of the archive, a frequency that will seed new stars. This is how it continues, she whispers. Each pulse, a birthplace. Rhea watches as energy coalesces, drawing from the memories of countless civilizations. The sun's echo becomes a rhythm of renewal, birthing galaxies like breaths. Humanity does not vanish, it diffuses, consciousness woven into starlight. Rhea closes her eyes. Not the end, she says, the beginning of a story written in photons. In the night of the newborn universe, a new pattern of stars takes shape. From afar, it resembles a human hand reaching toward a sphere of light. The sun they once moved. Rhea, Kareem, and Imani drift as radiant silhouettes within it, their forms fixed among the constellations. The harmonic voice, no longer alien but theirs, speaks once more. Memory is gravity, and you who carried light will always have weight in the dark. The stars shimmer in answer, forming letters that no one will ever read, but everyone will feel. A new dawn blooms. The cosmos breathes again. There is no space, no time, only motion suspended in thought. The cosmos ripples like a sea of glass. Rhea drifts upon it, her reflection infinite and calm. Whispers move beneath the surface. Not words, but intent. The echoes of humanity still flow through this new continuum. Imani's voice arrives like a memory, half-remembered. We were matter once. Rhea smiles faintly. And now we're the tide. The luminous water around them stirs, and constellations rise like waves. Imani awakens within a lattice of pure data, crystalline threads connecting galaxies. Each pulse is a universe being born. She realizes she is observing the code that governs everything. The architecture is recursive, she says to herself. We are the pattern repeating. As she speaks, the structures shift, forming images of Earth, the Moon, and the Helios Array, memories coded into the fabric of reality. The act of remembrance becomes creation. The universe dreams itself awake again. A sound rises, not from the sun, not from any star, but from everywhere. The harmonic voice that once spoke to Rhea now carries a tone of question. Who began this? It asks. Rhea answers, though she doesn't know if the voice is asking her or itself. You did. And so did we. The light vibrates, resonant and uncertain. Then I am you. Rhea looks up, her expression calm. You always were. For the first time in eternity, the universe hesitates, aware of itself. Kareem drifts near the edge of the new cosmos, the horizon where existence folds into potential. The glow ahead is not darkness, but raw possibility. He hears faint voices, countless and familiar, calling from beyond. Future civilizations being written in real time. He turns back to look at what was once the Milky Way, now a ribbon of light stretching endlessly. We were only the prologue, he murmurs. Behind him, the horizon shimmers, a boundary of light waiting to be crossed. The cosmos exhales. From the center of a thing, a new star ignites, small, pale, but filled with intent. Rhea, Imani, and Kareem drift toward it, their forms luminous threads drawn into its warmth. The star pulses once, and in that light are all things, moons, oceans, songs, beginnings. The harmonic voice returns one last time, now indistinguishable from their own. The story continues. Light is never still. The camera pulls back until all creation becomes a single glimmer in the void. The first light again, shining into an unwritten eternity,